So hi students, welcome to the class. Again I am Mohan Raj. I will be continuing the class from last three videos where we have seen the classification of numbers, right? And then definition of rational numbers, and also we were solving questions in 1A, exercise 1A, right? So we are going to continue that. In today's class what we see is completion of exercise 1A. Exercise 1A, and then we'll be seeing introduction to irrational numbers, definition, as well as the difference between rational and irrational numbers, how to differentiate given number, whether it's rational or irrational. So then we are going to see the representation of rational numbers, Q, that is rational number, and Q dash, which is irrational numbers, on a number line. So this video includes these three things today. Okay. So let's see. Start with the completion of exercise 1A. So what was left out in the previous exercise? I solved the first three questions. First two questions. I was at the third question where they're asking us to write the fractions in the ascending order of their magnitudes. That is question number 3 in exercise 1A. Okay, so these are the numbers they are given: minus 5 by 9, 7 by 12, and then we have minus 2 by 3, and then 11 by 18. So in the ascending order I have to write. So also find the difference between the largest and the smallest of these rational numbers. Express this difference as a decimal fraction correct to one decimal place. Okay, so that is the question. So now first let's see how to arrange them in the ascending order. Let's see this. First, you can easily guess the negative numbers are smaller than the positive numbers, right? So we can classify these negative numbers which are smallest and the positive numbers which are biggest. Okay, so let us bifurcate them. So minus 5 by 9 and then minus 2 by 3. I need to know which is smaller among them. So whereas 7 by 12 and then 11 by 18. So there are two different approaches. One is we can go for the cross multiplication. Another one is going for LCM. So let us start with the LCM method first. In the LCM method, let's say what is the LCM for 9 and 3? What is the LCM for 9 and 3? 9 itself, right? So no need to change this number. Let it be minus 5 by 9. Whereas this number can be converted to 9. The 3 should be made as 9. For that we need to multiply this numerator as well as denominator by 3. So what we get is minus 5 by 9 minus 6 by 9. So now the denominator is same. That's the agenda. So once we get the denominator same, we can compare the numerators alone. So tell me which is greater here, minus 5 or minus 6? Obviously 6 is greater than 5, but when it comes to negative, which is greater? Minus 5 is greater than minus 6. So that's why the smallest number is minus 6 by 9. After that we have minus 5 by 9. Now same approach I am going to do here. What is the LCM for 12 and 18? LCM for 12 and 18 is, what is it, 36. So we need to make this 12 36. So how will you make it 12 36? By multiplying the denominator by 3. I should also multiply the numerator by 3. So whereas 11 into 2, 18 into 2. So what we get here is 21 by 36, 22 by 36. So obviously 21 by 36 is less than 22 by 36. So now the number is 21 by 36. So final arrangement will be what? Minus 6 by 9 less than minus 5 by 9, which is less than 7 by 12, which is further less than 11 by 18. So this is the ascending order. Okay. What was the next question? The difference between the lowest and the highest number. So to find the difference between the lowest and highest, so what we should do? We should subtract highest minus lowest. Which is highest here? 11 by 18 minus which is lowest? The lowest is minus 6 by 9, but when we are subtracting, that minus of minus becomes plus. So we end up with 11 by 18 plus 6 by 9. So what is the LCM for 9 and 18 again? 18 itself. So we can make it 11 by 18 plus 6 into 2 by 9 into 2. So we end up with 11 by 18 plus 12 by 18. So our answer will be 23 by 18. Okay. So 23 by 18. So what is further thing? Find the final answer which is accurate to the one decimal point. So what I should do? I should divide this 23 by 18 by 23 by 18. So what I can do here is, hope you can see the board, right? So we need to divide this 23 by 18. So I can divide directly without writing the division also. 18 ones are 18. What is the value left out? 5 is left out. So I put a decimal, become 50. 18 twos are 36. Okay. So 18 twos are 36. We end up with again 14. So I need to put one more 0. So it becomes 140. Okay. So that's how it is. The approximate value of near to one decimal point is 1.2. So that is the nearest answer. Okay. So this approach is using LCM method. Okay. So what was another approach I told you? We can go for cross multiplication and compare. I told you, no. So that also we can do. So right now this is the method which is required for us. Okay. The alternative method I am going to give you now. So the alternative method is, first thing is same. We need to bifurcate them into positive and negative numbers. After that, what we are going to do is, we are going to cross multiply in such a way that the denominator of this number multiplied with the numerator of the other. So, and the numbers go to the numerators only. Okay, they will not come back to the denominator. So 3 minus 5, 3 into minus 5 is 15, minus 15. 9 into minus 2 is minus 18. So which is greater here? Minus 15 is greater than minus 18. So that will give me clearly minus 5 by 9 is greater than 2 minus 2 by 3. That is direct. Okay, here also 18 sevens are 18, 12 11s are. So what is 18 sevens are? So anybody can tell me, right? So it is 126. Okay. So what about this? 12 11s are 132. So which is greater? 125 is less than 132. So clearly I can say 7 by 12 is less than 11 by 18. So same arrangements we got, right? So the arrangement is again minus 2 by 3 and then minus 5 by 9 and then 7 by 12 and then 11 by 8. This is the order of arrangement in the ascending order. And the difference between the lowest and highest number is same as this. We can do the same thing and we'll get the same answer at the end. Okay. So that is all about this question number 3. Hope you understood well. Yes. So I'll be going a little faster after this. Okay. So as we have too many videos to finish this chapter. Okay. So let me go to the next question. Okay, next question is your work now. So next question is very similar to this. The question says arrange 5 by 6 minus 3 by 16, that is 5 by 6 minus 3 by 16 minus 1 by 4 and then 17 by 32 in the descending order of their magnitude. Descending is what? From the highest to lowest. After that, find the sum of the lowest and the highest. So we need to add the lowest and highest. In the previous question we subtracted. Now we are going to add the lowest and highest numbers. Okay. And also express the result obtained in the decimal fraction correct to 2 decimal places. Where I was only writing 1.2. So I stopped here. After that it was 0 something. So I made it to approximately 1.2. Right. But here you have to take the 2 decimal places. Accurate to the 2 decimal places. Okay. So I expect you to do this. So that's your work. Remember, question number 4 in the exercise 1A will be your assignment. Okay, we'll be doing it. Okay, so if you have any doubt, we'll discuss in the live session after the chapter. Okay, so if you still don't get the answer, I'll be giving the solution on the board, but I want you to try this so that it is very similar to the question number 3. Okay, so now coming to the last question in this exercise, without doing actual division, find which of the following rational numbers have terminating decimal representation. So last class we saw what kind of numbers will have terminating decimal representation. Those numbers whose denominators can be expressed as 2 power m into 5 power n or 2 power a into 5 power b. Okay, where m and n should be whole numbers only in this form alone. So nothing else should come in that. That is 3, 7, all those numbers should not come. So any denominator you can represent in this format alone will be terminating decimal, or else it is not. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Question number 1 in that. Question number 5 in that sub question 1. Okay, so we have 7 by 16. So 7 by 16 we have, and then 23 by 125 I have. Okay, so I have 9 by 14, and then 32 by 45, and I have 43 by 50. So remaining 4 questions are there that I will be doing. Okay, so remaining 3 questions are there, that is 17 by 40, 61 by 75, 123 by 250. That you will be doing it. So I will be solving only these 5 questions now. Okay, so now check the denominator for this. So denominator is 16, right? So 16 can be written as 2 power 4, and 5 power what is there now? Nothing is there, so 5 power 0. So as 16 can be expressed in 2 power m into 5 power n alone. So 7 by 16 is a what kind of decimal? Terminating decimal. So we don't want to find the value, we just have to check is it terminating decimal or not. Yes, it is a terminating decimal. Okay, and then 23 by 125. So consider the denominator 125. So 125 can be written as 5 power 3 into 2 power 0. So it's a power of 5. 5 ones are 5, 5 fives are 25, 25 fives are 125. Okay, so it is in the form of again 2 power m into 5 power n. So as 125 can be expressed in the form of 2 power m into 5 power n, 23 by 125 is a terminating decimal. So this is how you have to give the answers. Okay, so if you want a complete mark, you need to explain what you know. So it's not about how much you write, it's about what you know exactly. So this is the reason behind, is it a terminating decimal or not. So when you know that clearly, so that will be more satisfying answer. Okay, so I have 9 by 14 now. So can anyone guess? Can anyone guess what is it? 9 by 14, can it be terminating decimal? Okay, consider 14. So 14 can be expressed as 2 power 1 into 7 power 1. Okay, so as 14 cannot be expressed in 2 power m into 5 power n form, 9 by 14 is not a terminating decimal. So non-terminating decimal, there will be some repetitions. Okay, so it's a non-terminating recurring number, NTR. Okay, so now coming to (32 by 45). So 45, consider the denominator 45. 45 can be expressed as what? Tell me. So we have 9 fives are, right? 9 means 3 square into 5 power 1. So do we have 2 power anything here? 2 power 0 we can say, but we also have 3 in this. Okay, as the denominator 45 can't be expressed as 2 power m into 3 power 5 power n form, I can say 32 by 45 is a non-terminating decimal. Non-terminating but recurring decimal. Okay, so we can also add that word. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay, so until you say correctly, you can add anything in the statement. Okay, so even though it's not relevant, I can still understand that clearly it's a non-terminating recurring decimal. Okay, yes. So one more question I left. Remaining 3 questions you will be solving. So I'll be solving the 5th one, that is 43 by 50. 43 by 50. So I'm telling you any number divided by 25, 50, 100. So all these 150, 200, these are all going to be terminating decimal because they can be always represented in terms of 2 power m into 5 power n. Okay. So consider here also decimal. Consider the denominator 50. So 50 can be expressed as 2 power 1 into 5 power 2. That is 25 twos are right. So those who don't understand, what you can do is this 2 ones are 2 25s are 5 ones are 5 5s are. Same thing you can do for 45 also. What will you do? 3 15s are 3 5s are. So after that you can write. No issues. Okay. So now what we have is in this format I have. So I can say 43 by 50 is what kind of decimal? It's a terminating decimal. It's a terminating decimal. Okay, done. So that's the end of this exercise 1A. So you should not be having any doubt in these solved questions. So you might get doubts in the unsolved questions. We will discuss in the live session where doubt clearing will be done. Okay. So hope this is done. First exercise is done. So we'll be going little faster from now onwards. Okay. So because there are too many questions in the next exercise, I cannot be doing this slow. So coming to irrational numbers. What are rational numbers? We know the numbers which can be represented in the form of a by b, where a and b are integers and b is not equal to 0. So the irrational numbers can be, the definition can be very simple. Opposite to that, the number which cannot be expressed in a by b form, where a and b are integers, belongs to integers, and b is not equal to 0. This can be one definition. Okay, but in your book what they say is the square or cube roots of natural numbers whose exact value cannot be found. So it is very important. Square or cube roots. Square or cube roots of natural numbers whose exact value cannot be found are called irrational numbers. Okay, but finally the meaning is all same. Meaning of irrational means you cannot understand. The number which you cannot understand are irrational numbers. That's what I said in the classification. So the numbers which can be understood can be written in the a by b form. Okay, they can be either terminating or non-terminating recurring. Okay, whereas the numbers which cannot be understood cannot be written in the p by q form or a by b form because they are non-terminating, non-recurring. If they terminate, it is easy, we can understand easily. If it is recurring, then also we can understand completely, like 0.3333 is a number which is a non-terminating recurring. Even though you cannot completely write this number, the value of this is 1 by 3. Why? Because we know what is going to come next. That is what? It is non-terminating recurring number. So that comes under rational. Okay, 1 by 2, this is a terminating non-recurring number. Non-recurring terminating number is also rational. Okay, whereas the root 2, what I said, square root and cube root of the natural numbers whose exact value is not known. Root 2 value is 1.414. After that it keeps on coming. There will be no repetition, there is no pattern also. So after one point of time we will not understand what number is going to come next. So until we don't know what is coming next and it is not going to stop at all, we cannot completely understand this number. So it is what? This is non-terminating, non-recurring. So the number which is either terminating or either recurring, that will come under rational. Okay, the number which is non-terminating and non-recurring comes under irrational. So I am repeating this again and again so that you should not have any doubt. Some other example for irrational numbers are root 3, cube root of 2, root 5. Okay, So cube root of 3. So these numbers, when you try to find the square root by division method or cube root by division method, you will never get the value, complete value. It will never stop. And there is a pattern also. So that is why these numbers are irrational numbers. So remember this. So the definition according to your textbook is this. Square root or cube roots of any natural number whose exact value is not known can be called as irrational number, and they can be represented by q dash, that is complement of rational numbers. That's why dash is used here. Okay. So all the non-terminating, non-recurring numbers are going to be irrational numbers. That's one more thing. Okay. And there is one important thing. There is a number pi. What is pi? So where do you use pi here? So what is the circumference of a circle? Circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. R, it is pi d. What is d? D is the diameter. So pi can be taken as circumference of the circle divided by diameter of the circle. Okay. So value of pi, you might be saying value of pi is 22 by 7. But this is not the exact value. Nobody knows the exact value. It is somewhere nearby. So when you divide 22 by 7, you get 3.142857. This will be repeating, but this is not the exact value. Nobody knows the exact value of pi. So when you try to divide 22 by 7, you will get the repeating value. So that doesn't mean that it is rational. So pi is something nobody can understand. So pi is also coming under non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. So what is pi? Pi is irrational. So remember this. Most of the people will be forgetting this part and they'll be making a lot of mistake in future classes. So remember this, you register this in your mind. Pi is irrational number. Okay. Yes, that's all about irrational numbers introduction. Okay, now what is left out? Can you remember? So the left out part is representation of rational and irrational numbers on the number line. Okay, so let's see that. So first we'll start with the rational number. Representing rational number on number line. So what is a number line, you know, right? So number line where we have 0 at the center, and on the right side of the number line we have positive numbers, on the left side we have negative numbers. That's what it is, right? So I'm going to equally space these numbers. So you need to be using scale if you are solving these questions. Okay. So now I'm just randomly writing it. It will go till infinity. So here -1, -2, -3, -4 till minus infinity. Right? This is the origin. Yes, we have a number line here. Now in this number line, how to represent rational numbers? So natural numbers are here. These are natural numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all natural numbers. And if I want this side, we have negative numbers. So with 0 it is whole number. That's what they have explained in your book. And with the negative numbers included, it becomes integers, right? Now what is going to be there for fractions? Say now for example, I have to express 1 by 2, 3 by 2, and then 5 by 2, minus 1 by 2, minus 3 by 2 on the rational numbers. So what will you do? That's very simple. So what is the denominator here? 2. That means our number difference is 1 with a difference of 1 between each number, right? Now I need to divide them into 2 equal parts because the denominator is 2, no? So I need to divide this number line, the difference between them, by 2 equal parts. And those equal parts will be filling these numbers which we have here. So what is that? 1 by 2. Can you tell me where is 1 by 2? 1 by 2 is half. That is exactly between 0 and 1. By taking the average of 0 and 1, we get 1 by 2. So this is where 1 by 2 lies. Okay. Similarly, 3 by 2 lies between 1 and 2. Then 5 by 2 lies between 2 and 3. Right. Similarly, minus 1 by 2 lies where? Minus 1 by 2 lies between minus 0 and minus 1. And minus 3 by 2 lies between minus 1 and minus 3, minus 2. So this is how you do it. My next question is, represent 3 by 4, 7 by 4, 9 by 4, or maybe minus 5 by 4, and then minus 1 by 4 on the numbered line. So we are still talking about the fractions, okay, on the numbered line. So now what is the denominator we have? We have 4 in the denominator. So what will you do? So when you have 2 in the denominator, you divide the number line into 2 equal parts. Now we are going to go for dividing the number line into 4 equal parts, okay. Let me write this. Here 0, 1, 2. So you can make this convenient. You can fix a proper scale and tell that what is the distance equal to what? Okay, minus 1, minus 2. So I'm making it a little bigger because I need to make 4 parts here. So exactly I need to divide them into 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also we need to equally divide them. Yes. So now where is 3 by 4? So 3 by 4 is between 0 and 1, right? So this is 1 by 4. This is 2 by 4. This is 3 by 4. We can just count from 0. That's it. This is 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 3 by 4. This is 4 by 4. 1 is nothing but what? 4 by 4. Then what is 5 is 5 by 4. 5 by 4 is after that. This is 6 by 4. This is 7 by 4. So we needed what? 3 by 4 and 7 by 4. So 3 by 4 is here. 7 by 4 is here. Okay. Then what else we have? We want to find out minus 1 by 4. So it's very near to 0 then. Minus 1 by 4. Then I have minus 5 by 4. This is minus 2 by 4. You don't have to write everything. I'm just explaining. This is minus 4 by 4, which is 1. We have minus 5 by 4. So our required numbers are minus 5 by 4 and minus 1 by 4. Okay. So this is how we represent rational numbers. Okay. That is fractions. These are all rational numbers only, but this specific method is used for fractions. So any number, if they give 1 by 7, you divide them equally into 7 parts, and the first part will be 1 by 7. Second point will be 2 by 7. Like that it goes. Okay. Hope you understood. This is about rational numbers. Now coming to irrational numbers, let's see what is the method. Irrational number on the numbered line. Okay. So first example I'll take is root 2. I need to represent root 2 on the number line. So this involves some procedures because we cannot directly know the exact value of irrational number is not known, but still we are trying to represent on the number line using some tricks. Okay. So let us assume this is 0, this is 1, 2, 3. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay. This is origin 0. Okay, so now I'm going to use some logic here to find root 2. Okay, so let us take a right angle triangle whose one side is 1, another side is 1. So this is a PQR. Now can you tell me what is the length of QR? So using Pythagoras theorem, QR square is equal to PR square plus PQ square, right? This is 1 square plus 1 square, which is 2. QR square is 2. Then what is QR length? QR length is root 2, right? So the value of root 2 is going to be the length of QR, that is hypotenuse of the right angle triangle whose sides are 1 and 1. Same logic I'm going to use here. Now I need to represent root 2, and we know root 2 is approximately 1.414 something, right? So it has to be between 1 and 2 only. Okay, so now I'm going to write a right angle triangle just like that here. So just take this and write a line perpendicular to this, and take the compass. It's very important to use the compass here. Take this as an arc length and from this, let me name it as O, A. Okay, with O and A as a center, take this length, which will be exactly 1 unit, and from A as a center, cut this arc here. Okay, take the compass. You need to use a compass. With same distance, you cut this arc here. So this will be the line perpendicular to OA. Okay, and name this as B. So just join this. This is 1. This is 1. Can you tell me what is this? This is root 2. Because OB square is equal to OA square plus AB square. And we know OA and OB are 1 square, 1 square. So OB square is 2. So OB length is going to be root 2 units. Okay. Now what is the next step? With O as a center and this length as a radius, draw an arc from here. Take this as a center, draw an arc. This will be coming here. So I have written randomly, so it will be coming like less than 1.5, somewhere here. So this is a point where your root 2 lies. Okay, this is how you represent. I'll repeat again. So we are using the logic of Pythagoras theorem to represent irrational numbers in the number line. So what we're going to do is, we're going to take a number line and we are going to mark this as origin A, O, and this length as A. OA is 1 unit. Okay, and then we draw a line perpendicular to that and take a compass, take this unit 1 distance and keeping A as a center, mark that arc here. That will be again 1 unit. Then join B with O. We get root 2. So from this again O as a center, take this as a radii and draw the arc until it touches the number line. The point where it touches number line will be equal to root 2. Getting it? So now what will you do for 2 root 2? If you want to write 2 root 2, where it will come? Any idea? 2 root 2 means what I should do? If you take 1 as a distance, 1 and 1, you get root 2 here, right? If you take this distance as 2 and then 2, then you will get this as 2 root 2. So then what is your step? What is your step? Instead of taking 1 as a distance, we take 2 as a distance and again we draw a line perpendicular to this and we mark an arc here, 2 as a distance. And then from here onwards, if you draw the line, it will give you 2 root 2. Same process. Okay? 2 root 2. Then 3 root 2 means you take 3 as a distance and draw it. That will give you the answer. Okay? This is the method to represent root 2. But it is not only the number they are going to ask you. They can ask you root 3, root 5, everything, right? So let's see what to do for root 3 and root 5. With that, we can wind this session. I have a simple logic now. Root 3 I want means I want to have 1 square plus 2, root 2 square. Okay? Are you understanding? So if root 3 square should be equal to 1 square plus root 2 square. So what is 1 square? 1 square is 1 and root 2 square is 2 and root 3 square is 3. They will be equal. Right? So that means what will you do? That's the question. Some extension of this method. I am going to draw the number line. Okay. So now what we have here is, first we have to have one side root 2. To get root 2, what we should do? Same process. So we take this as a center and I'll draw the line perpendicular to this. And from this A as a center, I'll cut an arc and then I'll get this distance root 2. Okay. After doing this, I have got one side root 2. This I got. I need to get one more side of right angle triangle. So for that, from this point, for this line OB, I am going to draw a line perpendicular. Perpendicular. Okay. From that perpendicular line, from this B as a center, take 1 unit because I have got already root 2 as a base. Now I need another side with 1 unit. So cut an arc with 1 unit distance. This is 1 unit, this is root 2. Now tell me, this is a right angle triangle. This is a right angle triangle. This C here, I can understand OC square is equal to OB square plus BC square. So what is OC now? Square root of 1 square, root 2 square it is. OB is root 2 and BC is 1 square. So when you do that, you get root 3. OC is going to be root 3 units. So now what is your next step? This length is root 3 now. So when this length is root 3, what will you do is, you will take O as the center and take the compass and draw a line, draw an arc which is cutting the number line. So this will be the value of root 3. Okay. Now any guesses what will you do for root 5? For root 5 what will you do? Tell me. What combination we need to say? 1 square plus 2 square. 2 square is what? 4. 1 square is 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. So root of that is that. So that means what will you do to get root 5? So you will have a right angle triangle with one side 2 and the side is 1. So when you take the square root of that, with the Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse will become root 5. Okay, anyway, I'll explain that. So compass is here compulsory. You need to use compass and scale to get this right. Okay, so it should be accurate, should not be randomly done. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Right. So now I need one side. I'll be going for one side of the right angle triangle OA, and I'm going to draw a line perpendicular to this, and I cut this B such that AB is 1 and OA is 2. Now you join this with the compass. You just cut an arc and join it here. You'll get the value of root 5. Okay. So I'll just tell you what to do for root 7 then. Root 7, what will you do? Root 7, you can go for 2 square plus root 3 whole square and square root of that. Okay, 2 square is 4, root 3 whole square is 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So like that we can find out proper combinations to get it. Okay. So that's all about today's class. We have learned now how to represent rational and irrational numbers. Okay. So tomorrow's class, next class, next video, I'll be dealing with operations on these rational and irrational numbers, and then we'll be talking about proofs, which are going to be very important questions. Okay. So proofs of irrationalities. So of only 3 numbers we have, root 2, root 3 and root 5. There are 2 alternative methods, one normal method and one alternative method. We'll be doing it. Okay. So that will be in the next class, and we'll be entering into second exercise in this chapter, that is 1B. So I'll be trying to finish almost all the difficult questions, and I'll be leaving easy questions for you as an assignment. Then finally we'll be looking at search. That will be the last part of this class. Okay, so just keep following up, okay, and do the assignments which I give you. I have given assignments today, right? Exercise 1A, you'll be solving it. Okay, also you try to plot root 5, root 7 and other numbers on the rational number line. We'll be solving some examples in the next class representing these combinations of rational numbers. Okay, so that's all for today's video. So we'll be winding up. We'll be meeting again. So be careful and go through all these basics clearly. So don't get confused. If you're getting confused, we'll anyway discuss in the live class. Okay. Thank you.